At first light, the mountains stand perfectly still. Called Della Selvina rises slowly out of the morning mist, a rugged ridge where ancient forests cling to steep slopes and silence carries weight. This is not a place for mistakes. Every sound travels, every movement is noticed, and somewhere beneath the cover of tangled undergrowth, wild boars are already awake. These animals are not ordinary game. They are survivors, thick-skinned, intelligent, and unpredictable. In regions like this, wild boars have adapted to pressure for centuries, learning human patterns, memorizing danger zones, and moving with near military precision. Hunting here is never about luck. It is about patience, positioning, and control. As the sun begins to cut through the fog, a hunter prepares quietly at the edge of the ridge. There is no rush, no dramatic movement, just controlled breathing and focused awareness. Every step is calculated, every pause deliberate. In wild boar hunting, speed kills, and not always the animal. The terrain is deceptive. From a distance, it appears calm, almost peaceful. But the ground tells a different story. Torn soil, broken roots, deep tracks pressed into damp earth. Signs of sounder that passed through only hours earlier. These boars are large, heavy, and moving with purpose. Unlike deer, wild boars do not flee at the first hint of danger. If startled, they may charge. If cornered, they will fight. Their tusks can tear through muscle and bone in seconds. This is why preparation matters more than firepower. Positioning is everything. The wind direction is checked again. One mistake here, and the hunt is over before it begins. Boars rely heavily on scent, far more than sight. A single shift in wind can send the entire group vanishing into the forest like ghosts. From a concealed vantage point overlooking a natural corridor, the hunter waits. This narrow pass is a known route, used repeatedly by boars moving between feeding areas and dense cover. It's a strategic location, chosen not by chance, but by experience. Minutes stretch into long, quiet tension. Then movement. Branches tremble. Leaves rustle low to the ground. A dark shape emerges slowly, followed by another. Massive bodies roll forward with surprising quietness. Thick bristles ripple as they walk. This is not a single animal. It's a group, coordinated, alert, and dangerous. The lead boar stops. It lifts its head, nostrils flaring, testing the air, listening. The entire sounder freezes behind it. In moments like this, everything balances on a knife's edge. One wrong move, one misplaced sound, and chaos will erupt. The hunter steadies. The rifle remains lowered. There is no rush to fire. Ethical hunting demands certainty, a clear line, a vital angle, and full control of the situation. Wild boar hunting is not about pulling the trigger fast. It's about knowing when not to. The forest holds its breath, because once the moment breaks, there is no turning back. The forest does not stay silent for long. As the lead boar lowers its head and takes a cautious step forward, tension thickens in the air. Muscles tighten. Ears twitch. Every animal in the sounder is reading the environment at the same time, decoding sound, scent, and vibration with frightening efficiency. These are not reckless creatures. They are veterans of survival. The hunter remains motionless. From this distance, the details become clear. Scarred flanks. Thick mud-caked armor formed by layers of skin and fat. Tusks curved and sharpened by years of rooting and fighting. A wild boar like this has faced threats before: predators, hunters, vehicles, even other boars. This is not an animal that panics easily. The wind holds steady. This is the moment hunters train for, but rarely experience under perfect conditions. The angle is right. The lead boar is slightly quartered. Vital organs exposed for a brief window. Still, patience matters. A rush shot on a wild boar can mean disaster. A wounded animal disappearing in cover, or worse, charging with lethal force. The rifle comes up slowly. Breathing is controlled. The world narrows. Forest sounds fade. There's only the sight picture now. Crosshair steady over a vital zone that offers the fastest, most humane outcome. Ethical hunting demands precision, not bravado. Then the trigger breaks. The shot cracks through the valley like thunder. For a fraction of a second, everything freezes. The lead boar collapses instantly, its massive body dropping with a force that shakes the ground. There is no scream, no struggle, just sudden stillness where motion once stood. But that stillness lasts less than a heartbeat. Chaos erupts. The sounder explodes in every direction. Boars crash and brush, snap branches, and tear into the forest with shocking speed. Dirt flies. Leaves scatter. What moment ago was controlled movement becomes pure survival instinct unleashed. A second boar veers toward the slope. Another bolts uphill. Smaller animals scramble after the larger ones, following instinct rather than strategy. This is where danger spikes. Wounded or startled boars can change direction without warning. The hunter cycles the action smoothly. There is no panic, no chasing shots, only disciplined target selection. In moments like this, hunters must resist instinct and focus on opportunity. Shooting into movement blindly is irresponsible. The goal is not numbers. It is control. Another boar pauses briefly, confused by the sudden loss of leadership. It hesitates just long enough. A second shot. This one strikes clean. The animal stumbles and collapses within seconds. The rest vanish into thick cover, their heavy bodies dissolving into terrain as if they were never there. Silence returns, but it feels different now. The forest exhales slowly, leaves settling back into place. Echoes fade. Only distant rustling remains as the sounder retreats deeper into safety. The danger has passed, but adrenaline still pulses. This is the reality of wild boar hunting. It is never predictable, never clean-cut. Every encounter carries risk, and every decision carries consequences. Even experienced hunters know that overconfidence leads to injury, or worse. The hunter remains still for several minutes. This pause is critical. Wounded animals can sometimes rise unexpectedly. Charging boars have ended hunts and lives when vigilance dropped too soon. Only after careful observation does movement resume. Approaching the downed animals is done cautiously. The rifle stays ready. The terrain is scanned repeatedly. In boar country, respect is not optional. It is survival. These animals are powerful, intelligent, and resilient. And despite the chaos, this hunt represents something larger than sport. It is part of a broader effort to manage populations that have grown beyond natural control, damaging ecosystems and threatening agriculture. But the hunt is not over yet, because as long as boars roam these ridges, the balance between human and wild remains fragile, and every encounter writes a new chapter in that ongoing struggle. The forest does not celebrate victory. There are no cheers, no raised voices, only the slow return of normal sounds, wind moving through branches, distant birds testing the quiet again, leaves settling where chaos briefly ruled. The hunt has ended, but its weight lingers in the air. Approaching the fallen boars is done with caution born of hard-earned experience. Even now, nothing is assumed. A wild boar can rise when least expected, fueled by pure instinct and adrenaline. Every step forward is measured. The rifle stays ready. Eyes scan the undergrowth, not just for movement, but for what might still be watching. When it is finally safe, the scale of the animal becomes undeniable. Up close, the boar is massive, thick hide layered like armor, muscles dense and compact, built for relentless travel and violent confrontation. This is not an animal shaped by weakness. This is a survivor, one that thrived precisely because it was stronger, smarter, and more adaptable than most creatures sharing its territory. And that is the problem. Across large parts of Europe and beyond, wild boar populations have exploded. Without natural predators capable of controlling their numbers, these animals reproduce at staggering rates. A single sow can birth multiple piglets in one litter, sometimes twice a year. Within months, those piglets are capable of breeding themselves. The math is brutal. Left unchecked, entire landscapes suffer. Farmers know this reality too well. Fields destroyed overnight, crops uprooted, irrigation systems shattered, forest floors torn apart, leaving erosion and ecological balance behind. In some regions, wild boars cause millions in damage annually. Roads become dangerous. Vehicle collisions rise. Livestock is threatened. Disease spreads silently through contact with domestic animals. This is why hunts like this exist. Not for trophies, not for spectacle, but as a last line of defense in a problem that has grown beyond passive solutions. Trapping helps, but boars learn quickly. Fencing fails. Deterrents lose effectiveness. At some point, direct intervention becomes unavoidable. Still, that does not make it easy. Every ethical hunter understands the gravity of pulling the trigger. Respect for the animal is not a slogan. It is a responsibility. Shots are chosen carefully. Suffering is minimized. Waste is avoided. In many regions, the meat is processed and used, not discarded. Nothing about this process is casual. As the hunter prepares to leave the site, one final scan of the area is made. Tracks crisscross the ground, telling a silent story of what escaped. The sounder is smaller now, disrupted, less confident. Leadership has been removed. Their movements will change. Their pressure on the land will ease, at least for a time. But the war is not over. Wild boars will adapt again. They always do. New leaders will rise. New routes will be learned. This is not a battle with a clean ending, but a cycle, one that demands constant awareness, discipline, and cooperation between hunters, landowners, and conservation authorities. As daylight fades and shadows stretch across the forest floor, the hunter walks away quietly. No triumph, no regret, only resolve.